Hello and welcome to J.P. Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. President of the Murray Company, JP's mission is to arm today's associations with insight and strategy to thrive in a progressively complex and competitive business landscape. 21st century associations must move forward with a little bit of hustle and revenue development at their core. Here's JP.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 250 of the Association Hustle Podcast. For those of you that have been listening for a long time, thank you. For those that are joining for the first time, thank you. Go back and download all this stuff. Folks, on episode 250, I'm going to let it rip. The title of this one is, Now I Really Have Something to Say, because I've learned a lot over the last 250 episodes. One thing is I've learned about the power of podcasting. Friends, it is the most positive communication tool I've ever launched in business, and I've been in the association space, oh my goodness, now for almost 30 years. And I don't understand any association that does not have one now. Until recently, we were getting about 400 people listening per episode. Now we're getting over 4,000. So over time, this thing scales and you're reaching people that you've never reached before. The possibilities are endless. Here's some other things that we learned. Virtual programming is absolutely scalable. It's on demand, and we embrace the variety of ways that this can connect with multiple audience segments and groups that you've never been able to communicate before. If you think about your in-person meetings, it was only getting to one person. Now you can reach the whole dang company with your virtual programs. That's another thing that I've learned over 250 episodes. Another thing, meetings and conventions are going to reappear, and they will do so with vigor, but the business model of them will change. I think you could anticipate smaller, more regional events, maybe more high-end. I'm concerned about those organizations that have these huge national thousands of people attending events. Man, I hope they can figure it out and work through it because they're so important to our business model. In all these cases, we're talking about a blended and diversified series of programs to reach a larger audience, to be more influential, and we are able to deepen the bench in our member companies, if it's a corporate membership, and actually be able to be relevant in the lives of these member companies more than we used to be. Isn't that awesome? But after 250 episodes, I'm also worried about inaction. My former colleague, Don Neal, the president of 360 Live Media, said this recently in a blog post. He was concerned about the cost of inaction, and I am too. Over the last 250 episodes, we've talked about a number of ways to embrace new and innovative ways to engage audiences. But I know that there are some associations that really need to check themselves and to see if they're truly helping out their members while the industry they represent is under incredible stress and strain. Now, here's what I'm fascinated by. Some associations have absolutely woken up. In some cases, it's new leadership that's just catapulting the organization forward. I'm going to name some people today for you. Chris Swanger of the Distilled Spirits Council, this is you. David Long of the National Electrical Contractors Association, this is you. These guys, they're firing so much new, and I know they've got staff doing it and helping them, right? But these folks are leading, and they're firing so much new and innovative content, you can't even keep up with it. And by the way, they're not clients of mine. They used to be. We've worked with them, but they're not right now, so I'm not getting paid by them to say that. They're doing so much stuff that you can barely keep up with it. Podcasts and virtual meetings and videos every single day. Oh my goodness. Here's another observation. They are both fairly new executives from industry, and they were not career association folks. So, 20-year association execs, including myself, we can learn from them. Now let's talk about something else. 250 episodes. About half of these episodes are about value delivery and monetization of it and selling it effectively, serving the needs of someone and having them break away from their well-earned cash to give it to your association or your business. And we've talked about that freely. It's a spirit of free enterprise that I frankly still believe in. So when we started this podcast many moons ago, there were some really smart people out there probably speaking at ASAE meetings and on message boards talking about free memberships, all free content. And I made the point now, if you were an advocacy organization, this kind of mindset was not a sustainable model. Well, where are those folks now? Probably broke and not publishing their archived content for sure. Probably still speaking at the meetings though. So the path is being made and it is pretty darn clear to follow. To me, it hasn't changed that much. And this is what we'll continue to talk about and go into detail and describe and discuss over the next 250 episodes every single week. Communicate often and on mobile. That's where everybody's at. Advocate. Government affairs matters now, doesn't it? Elections matter, don't they? So does your political program. Are you kidding me? We know that now more than we ever did before. Facilitate. Bring your different member segments together is a difference maker. Virtual programs and in-person events are going to be absolutely critical to deliver unique and valuable information. Virtual programming and in-person are both going to be required and they're probably going to live together. So you got to communicate, got to advocate, you got to facilitate, and then you have to sell it. You have to sell it. You have to have someone on the other end that can do that. Episode 250. Peace out.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of J.P. Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. We'd love to connect with you. Check out our blogs at murraycompany.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. You can also connect with JP on LinkedIn and Twitter at JP Murray, as well as the Murray Company's Instagram and Facebook page. To purchase a copy of JP's book, Association Hustle, Top Strategies for Association Growth, go to jpmurray.com.